And we're back, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience as we've had to wait for the game to end because of spectator issues. I like to remind you if you've either just tuned in or forgotten about that info. But we're back now, ready to jump straight into the game. And I would say, without any further ado, let's get into game 1 of day 2 here at the Post Esports Masters, Hitmonli versus STABIL.
With that, we are finally in game, in our first game of this day. STABIL on the red side, and of course Hitmonli on the blue side. Again, it's STABIL. Rampage GG on his Smolder last time. He did not have enough luck to win it. Maybe it's the different story this time. And on the other hand, we have the 100% win rate Brand jungle, who might lose it or maybe continue to dominate. Who knows? There he is. And he is not even like burning in a red way, but he is burning in a blue flame because he is like blue brand. Who knows? Amazing. But in the blue flames are much more dangerous than the red flame, right? So
True. That's how it works. And he's camouflaged in the river as well.
True.
Everybody knows that blue fire is immune to water, right? That's how it works now.
Yeah. You can't see him. He's basically saying what John Cena always says. You can't see me.
Either way, we are ready to go. As has been mentioned in the chat, this is still a game 1 of tonight. We've had issues with the spectator mode, forcing us to, well, use a recording of the game, waiting for it to end. So technically the game is ended, but it would be no fun to know the result without watching the game, would it now?
No, that's the reason why we didn't even spoil us. So let's see who it is.
Oh, quick engage on the bot lane. Lots of damage already on Rampage. Bunch of summoners falling down. Orgnat Oknum has to be careful as he's starting to get a bit of damage into him. Situation diffused just like that.
Yeah, like I said, it's Nautilus. It's a really dangerous bot lane. Usually I don't see those level 1 engages, but why not? Especially against Smolder, who isn't really strong at level 1. Hasn't even leveled his Q, but he leveled his W, which has more AoE, so it's better for pushing. It's better for in this type of all-in. It was better so. But of course, you want to start stacking your Q as fast as possible. We talked Tuesday about Smolder's abilities and passive and the stacking thing. He basically just gets stronger with stacks, and you can. Okay. There's just first blood top lane. We didn't see it. Amazing, and that's what I said. It's a really tough lane, top lane. Malphite usually is strong, but I mean Yon, especially with lethal tempo, if we just give him the time to stack it, he's really dangerous.
It seems like Maxax definitely knew what he was doing in getting this blind pick. Yone, let's remind that as well. It was a blind pick.
True.
And yeah, he seems to not be bothered by the natural ability to counter him of a Malphite. And this is really good. A first blood already, and he's starting to build a rather considerable CS lead as well. On the bot lane, some action as well, as we have Sedokl coming in from the jungle. Lots of damage falling on the support of STABIL, as he is the second to fall in this game. The kill goes to Hitmonli's jungler.
Yeah, and I first thought, okay, it's way too late, or that there's no ganking opportunity, but then flash into hook into the flash of Brand, so was a really well played gank there. And what you could see in terms of jungle clearing, Brand was finished with his Crux when Lilia started it, so he is a much more faster than she is, and that's the reason why he could gank while she couldn't. And now both got the scuttle and go base now, so Brand with a lot of value, while Lilia didn't get too much, but of course with all those jungle camps she still could buy boots and friend with 400 gold more can buy a much more expensive item. The hunting ghost,
Yeah.
or whatever it's called. Hunting geist, whatever.
It's guys. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
it's this Liantry's mini
It's
item.
the mask.
Yeah, it's the little mask. We all know what it is. The name doesn't matter.
Yes, there we go. Second clear starting off for both junglers. The brand also got back a bit earlier still, so definitely really well played in this early game from Sedokl, being able to keep up in terms of speed and still getting a gank. That's quite huge. He now is on top side just as the Void Grubs are there, and it looks like he's doing them as well. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, they need to be a little bit careful. There's Lydia.
Gank confirmed. Lilia, lots of damage. Falling onto Trigger Happy, who got a few turret shots, is able to get away with the flash.
Yeah, and right now, you see Dolkyu definitely does a much better jungle job. Just because he got one successful gank and now even a whole objective with the Void Crops. Of course, Lydia on the cross map play now doing Drake, so well played.
Yeah, good reaction
Lydia.
there. Ooh. Hook goes barely to the side. That could have gotten dangerous for Rampage if that had hit. As the bot lane rotates towards Drake. I really like overall what Sedokl is doing here. He's very calm and collected. He knows that he is setting the pace for both junglers and capitalizes on it a lot. Also great reaction from Hitmonli's bot lane here, trying to contest a bit without going all in necessarily.
That's true. In the end, Trigger Happy needed to be a little bit careful, but Arrow and Hook didn't land, so he was out of there. And we see already the second Aurelia actually in the melee versus range matchup, who is ahead on farm. So those Aurelias in our league look really scary if they can out farm those range champions who should, in theory, have more farm and a little bit more pressure. But it's always dangerous to play against Aurelia, because she just stuns you and then runs you down with Qs, and that's really annoying.
This is a champ where I'd expect Malji to be quite good on. On Tuesday he played the Akali rather well. It was overall they lost the match, but he had a really good game overall. Did a great job, and if we remember him from previous seasons of the Post Esports Masters, he very often still picked those, I'll say, high action, all-in type of mid laners. And Aurelia definitely does fit in this sort of playstyle, I would say.
Yeah, and especially in this team comp, she can definitely always hit her stun, because there's plenty of CC, so she gets her stack, she can land the ultimate and then pop off. So this Aurelia pick can most definitely work in most scenarios. But STABIL, of course, still, I mean, if you just check out the total gold, it's totally in game. Nothing really happened. I mean, we are sitting at 1-1, both teams with one jungle object, so this game could last for eternities, just because both teams are that even. But probably around third Drake, fourth Drake, Baron, we will probably see one team fight, and maybe even with that, one team can finish with Baron, for example. Oh, he saw him. Good little trade by Max.
Staying safe, just good. He does keep this lead on going, but he's not getting too overconfident. He does have the extra money from the first blood. He does have a 20 CS lead, which is huge already, but still stays a bit humble to not overextend here.
No, but this is already going good for him, especially as a Yone. You want to snowball, you are crazy good in those scenarios where you are just isolated and you can try to run down people, especially with level 6 or level 8. You can just ult them, you can engage them with your W from far, so he is really strong, and can definitely ruin your day if he gets too close.
We have a hook landing on the bot lane. Very nice chain of corruption. Rampage gets right out of range. The ultimate Mom is pulling in. Trigger Happy is the first to fall as a Slakers joins in just a tad bit too late to help his bot lane.
Yeah, what a good 2v2 there. Even though there was Lilia, they still won the 2v2, so well played by Hitmonli Spotline. But that's exactly what I said in chat select. Nautilus together with Varus is just so strong in the 2v2, and Smolder needs to farm up, so he isn't really that strong, at least in the early game. He needs those stacks, he needs at least 125 stacks for a little bit more range, for those more projectiles, so that he can definitely try to out-trade them. But at the moment he will just scale up and try to get everything farm. I mean, you can see even though they kinda lose the 2v2, he has more farm than the Varus, so he will just keep it up and just try his best to get into a winning position. And what I really like about this game actually is the farm. I mean, if you just see the farm of Aurelia, it's like perfect farm, 10 minutes, 10 CS per minute, exactly as I'm Maxax. He is doing the great farm as well, but even Karma and Rampage GG are pretty close. So, and especially like in the range versus melee matchup, I just want to say that always and always again, because normally you are behind because you get poked, you get bullied, right?
Yeah.
But he just has the perfect farm. So this area by Plume MG definitely is some masterclass right now.
Yeah, absolutely. TP coming in bot lane from Blive Malgi as Drake just appears. Stabil on the back foot here, might not be able to react properly there, bit at a disadvantage here in terms of people, but Joe is joining in. We do have the ultis falling in. Blue team does get the Drake, and now Stabil looks for a disengage. Maybe Sedocle will fall at the hands of Rampage, but the stun comes in from Blive Malgi, and the AD carry of Stabil does die after picking up the kill, but we have joining in Maxax from the top lane. Trigger Happy gets really low, tries to get away. He is able to get away thanks to his Q, and now the situation turns around as Stabil is putting the pressure onto Hitmonli, pushing them towards Lubu is the next to fall, and that is a 3 members taken down by Stabil.
Winning teamfighter in the end. They lose the Drake, but that's sometimes just the price of winning, right? And meanwhile, at least only gets one plating in the top lane, so well played by Yorick, or the Malphite. And in the end, still a winning teamfight, and especially now if we look at Maxax with 2 kills now on the Sione, Krakenslayer, and of course Karma as well now with her first item. They look really scary. Rampage GG tried to kill Brand, even got him not in the end, but he flashed over the wall and then was a little bit unlucky against Aurelia, so but I mean they killed Brand, but it wasn't him. And with that, a little bit too early the engagement of Maoka ult and Mom. They just try to burst down Brand, but it's just not enough damage. And then kinda they didn't had enough until Yonan came with the teleport, and with him and with Lilia, who could just run them down.
Yeah.
It all worked out in the end.
This is definitely good reaction on their side from Maxax, and then Joe also came down from the mid lane after picking himself a plating as well. We have the Brand there. Looks like Hitmonli is preparing a tower dive here. The stun, the hook, they all hit, and the chain of corruption. You're not getting away from here. Trigger Happy tries to put some CC in order to maybe get a return kill, but it's too dangerous, and Rampage is forced to fall back.
Yeah, and that's just another good kill there on the bot lane.
Maybe the mid lane some action, but it's as you said, if the Karma gets engaged. Ooh, they do get the kill on Rampage. Still, we have a TP coming in. Slakers gets the sleep on 2 people. Beautiful things to see here. Holy.
Yeah, what a catch there. And again, it's Maxax coming clutch in the end with another kill for his Yone.
And now maybe Hitmonli getting caught is going to go in to get maybe a return kill onto Slakers. Lots of damage falling on the Lilia, but it's not enough. And I was going to say I really like how this game kept even. At first you'd think Hitmonli was a bit ahead, then slowly STABIL is starting to wrestle back control of the game, and now things have definitely shifted. Now it's STABIL that is in control. It's Slakers who is currently setting the pace in terms of jungle.
Yeah, the deer is crazy, just running back and forth and in the end killing everybody with it, and with the sleeping lullaby. And I mean, what a little fight there. But and there you can see the problem that this brand pick, I mean, it works against Trigger Happy, against a tank, against a frontliner. You can always just see him with Nautilus and just one-shot him. But after that, I mean, especially Lilia too fast for him, Yone too strong for him, and even Karma with the shield, with the range. You cannot really kill them, and they have the shutdowns on their hand. And Brand is looking strong if you just look at those bot lane fights. But besides that, they are kind of struggling at the moment.
Yeah, most definitely. And if STABIL does keep that up, things are looking quite good for them. 2k gold lead overall. We can see that now that the Malphite is getting some items, Maxax has some issues, but it's still looking rather good. Pretty even. But here we can see the Frozen Heart definitely too. Ulti's getting dropped, and that's the shutdown for the Malphite. Yorigovans.
Oh, just going for the solo kill, exactly what I said. Malphite usually good against those AD heavy champions on the top lane. Can just out-trade them because of the attack speed slow. And then in the end, Maxax just didn't land, sadly, his ultimate, and then Malphite with a quick reaction getting in there and killing him. And I actually thought he will just ult when Yone returns to his W, that he just ults on him, but he didn't, and in the end he won it anyway.
Yep, and here we have the depth charge being put out onto the comment. There's no chance of getting away if you get hit by 1 CC here. It just all follows up, although it is quite a few resources being put out for a single kill, as Hitmonli does rotate for Drake now.
Yeah, and especially with the 750 shutdown on top lane, they even lead in gold now. With mid lane turrets dropping now against the Heralds, they will probably lose this gold lead again. But still, Hitmonli came back from a 2k gold deficit, just back into the game with the first turret top lane, and then of course with a solo bolo by this Malphite, who is really strong right now. Probably can solo bolo Yone again, just because he got so much out of those two things to shut down the first turret. I mean, just look at this inventory. He has basically all the items 80 champions hate. Frozen Heart, Army Cinder, and the Fawn Mail, the little Fawn Mail. So
Bramble Vest, yeah.
Everything which is good against Yone, he basically has. And the Tabby, of course.
Oh, Vixen Joe barely surviving the queue here, having a rough time against 2 people on the bot lane. But yes, you really gotta I forgot the word I was gonna use, but we have a solo bolo on the top lane again. Oh, flashes away from the unstoppable force, but with the slow, he's gonna have a rough time getting away. Very nice Q here over the wall. Maxax is able to get away, but he definitely is having a rough time against this Malphite right now.
Yeah, and he just flashed, so he still has ultimate. Usually, you would rather want to escape with the ultimate, but in this case, Malphite just sticks too near to you that you will not escape with the ultimate because you stop at the first target, right? So he will just stop you, and that's the reason why you needed to flash that instead of just trying to ulting away. But especially with the Qs, you can always just charge it while he gets run down and then dash over a wall like he did, and Malphite just cannot get behind him, and he used his ultimate but couldn't get him. So at the moment, Malphite probably is stronger than him, can always run him down, but Yone just never will let him do that. So He will just always run away, and this Malphite never really has a chance to get the next kill, because for that Yone is just way too slippy.
Yes, so we definitely have this sort of cat and mouse game on the top lane, where one is going to try to kill the other is just going to flee. We're back at a stalemate here. I mentioned it earlier, Hitmonli was able to make up in the gold difference. They're now back to even 0, actually, pretty much, with STABIL. And they have one Drake onto them and seem to be currently in a very good spot to take control, vision control around this Baron pit already. Agglomerating on the middle lane, playing around this very important objective. Pings are falling down on the pit, and it looks like they're up for it.
Yeah, and Brand has really good objective damage, especially with the Lian trees, and of course you have Aurelia, but she is spotline. She even needed to flash and now got killed. So in the end, they are just 3 versus 4 at the Baron pit.
Yes, they do look for the opportunity. Mom and Nature's Grasp are falling. The Baron is getting really low as well. Poke starting to fall in. They go all in onto the support of STABIL, getting a lot of damage. As the first to fall. No, it's not the support, it's Slakers. And the support dies as well now. 2 kills already for Hitmonli, but now the rest of STABIL has joined them up. And Hitmonli really low, is forced to fall back here. Ognatoknum getting really low. Has to be careful, but the situation is looking diffused. 2 members died on sides of STABIL, 1 on sides of Hitmonli. Baron still up.
Yeah, and Rampage HG just again missing the kill by a small margin. It's so unlucky for him. He had such a good smaller game Tuesday, and now his smaller just always is like short of like 2 or 3 damage points to kill someone. And he always flashes for that and always doesn't get it, and it's really sad to see for him. But he will get back, and I mean, was a great fight by Hitmonli. They even got the shutdown of Lilia, and I believe that they could just try to kill the Baron. I think this re-engage in the end was worth with 2 kills, but especially in this 3v4 situation, and Baron was on 5,000 or something, and they couldn't really enter the pit, so maybe they could have just go for the whole Baron, but in the end, 2 kills are 2 kills, right? And a big shutdown as well, so was a good play by Hitmonli. And now they need to enter this Dragon Pit, but it's dangerous.
Yes, we are still dead even on both teams, but here with a hook, maybe there is an opportunity. Chance of corruption out. But not much. Here we have the Malphite all in as the fight goes on. Lots of damage falling on both sides. We have a few members already down on sides of Hitmonli. This is looking really good for STABIL, who are putting out a lot of damage. Here we have it. Maxax in the middle of the fight is a real threat for everybody. Lubu is a single member of Hitmonli to make it away.
Yeah, Maxax just amazingly good 2-man ultimate there. And then with all his damage, with like, I mean, he has Infinity Edge and Kraken Slayer, so he is really, really strong, just demolishing them in this team fight. And with that, I mean, yeah, Rampage, GG, and Trigger Happy with 0 and 7. Maybe not the strongest performance today, but if your whole top side is just crushing, then nobody cares about that. And you are still a skating lane, so you will have the impact later on, and especially Trigger Happy, who can just press ultimate and die after that. He is always useful. So at the moment, Hitmonli definitely needs a little bit more of an idea, because last teamfight wasn't enough. And maybe again, starting Baron, maybe again just re-engaging, that could be something. But they are behind, and they need to find a way back into the game.
Yes, definitely. It's the whole time it's this dance between the 2 teams, where one team gets the lead, and then the other one is able to fight a good situation, and then the other one again. Here we have Hitmonli do start this Baron, probably in the hopes of being able to get back into, which STABIL seems to be aware of it at least. And here we have the disengage, but Maxax is pretty far away. Maybe Hitmonli could have looked for it. TP is almost up. Probably wary of that as well, though.
Yeah, they probably wanted to get his teleport, but it was still on cooldown. That's why he moved. Because if he teleports, then they would definitely go out there. I believe they could have just 50-50 it. I mean, it was they didn't really get under a threat, right? And then they just stopped it. So maybe if they would have just went through it, they could have get something out of there. But I mean, was still a good try. So why not?
Yes, most definitely. They are very cautious, and it is understandable. After the last team fight, you might not want to risk a bad team fight, because if you have a bad team fight this time around, it might give such a considerable lead that the others could start setting a pace. Here, the gap between both teams in terms of goal, 2,000 and a half, it's not that much, right? It's not absolutely monstrous of a lead, especially since we're now already in the 25th minute. It starts dying down. There is already a few people with a few items, so it's not too bad. You can still handle that rather easily.
Yeah, both sides basically on 2 items. Then of course Maxax on 3, but he has a massive farm, still like the perfect farm.
Oh yeah, we have the engage, and Extenjo was alone in the top lane by Yorigowans and Sedokel. I believe that should be a kill for Hitmonli, and that's a very good thing for them. Or they might even give it to the AD carry. Perfect.
Yeah, giving him maybe a power spike now definitely helps. And what also is a good idea is that they kinda delayed the recall or the dying of Karma to get the death timer as close as possible.
Yeah.
That they still have the numbers advantage against the Baron.
Yes, and they're doing something very interesting as well. You had Malji on the bot lane knowing that they'd have to send Maxax to stop him. And look, he is following behind him. Is he gonna interrupt the TP? No, he does not. It's now a 4v4 around this Baron pit. Hitmonli quick to react, immediately fall back. TP coming in from Malji, and now it's STABIL who falls back. You gotta see this beautiful come and go, kind of like the tides of the sea, lilting lullaby. It's the all-in. Mom comes in, lots of damage falling already on Sedokel, and so on Lupu now in a tight spot versus Lakers, who's all onto them. They already have a first kill on sides of STABIL. Malji tries to get Rampage. Is he gonna be able to? No, Rampage picks up his first kill of the game as STABIL, the rest of his team keeps on pushing on. Slakers gets the double kill. 5 men up for STABIL, only 2 left for Hitmonli, and that should be Baron for STABIL.
Yeah, and that long range engage, I mean, it's just a bowler into sleeping the lullaby, and then there comes the Maokai roots, and then the Mom comes out, and then Yone just engages over 3,000 kilometers. It's just amazing. They can just always get a good team fight with all of those long range engage tools, and with that they just win it. They just get Baron, and now they are 6k gold up, and probably can just fight the Baron, the Drake now, and they are definitely in a winning position right now.
Yes, with that, STABIL definitely takes grasp of the game here. They've got Baron, which is, well, the strongest pushing tool in the game for obvious reasons. They have now a considerable gold lead that is not only on Maxax, but also does spread out over the team. You've got to say, Slakers also has an awesome game, both players being 6-1 and having overall rather decent farm. We have the Drake being done by STABIL. Hitmonli behind the pit is going to look for an opportunity to go all in. There we have it. Unstoppable falls insulated. Drake is down. X-Maxax is getting a lot of damage, so they do get the shutdown. It does go to Lubu. That's perfect for them as they keep on pushing on. They're now 1 man up. Trigger Happy tries to push them back as X and Joe has to get away from Malji. 2 members down for STABIL, and Hitmonli is able to get some money back in their pockets. Careful there, maybe a 3rd one to die as X and Joe wanted to back in this brush, and that does go a bit south.
Yeah, just 3 kills, but in the end, of course, they lose the Drake, so but still kind of worth. I mean, 3 kills, 1 tower. They'll maybe get even a 2nd turret, and with that, it was just careless of Maxax that he died there, and that's a big swing in terms of Hitmonli gold. I mean, they're still behind, but that's definitely helped them. And
But the goal difference that was made in the last fight in favor of Stabil is now completely nullified. In terms of pushing, they're now even as well, 3,000 on both sides. And, most importantly, Stabil lost a lot of Baron paths, namely the one on Maxax, which would be very important, I think.
yeah, definitely. Because of the split push opportunities, if he hasn't the Baron buff, he cannot really split too much against Malphite. And I mean, if you just check it out, he has like 3 tank items, so I believe even that he is maybe still stronger in the 1v1. That's the reason why Maxax is a little bit running. But of course there would have been Lilia, so would have been careless if Yorick would go for this 1v1 without knowing where Lilia is.
It's definitely no objective on the map, and thus a game that in the past, I would say 10 minutes, has been really action-packed, finally calms down for a bit here, as there's no big thing to fight for on the map.
Yeah, besides this really strong early game by Hitmonli, they kinda couldn't really get much, and I mean last team fight was huge for them, but besides that, every single team fight kinda looked tough against this long range from Stabil. So let's see how they will go if the next Baron spawns, if they again try to engage by their own like last time at the Drake, or if they will get engaged. At the moment we see just 1-3-1.
And there is a bit of a ticking timer situation here with the Smolder on the side of Stabil. The later we get into the game, the more monstrous he becomes.
Yes.
I think he should be at the fully evolved stage at that point.
Yeah. Yes, he has his last Q, but of course his stacking is endless, so all his abilities will get stronger and stronger. But his Q at least now bounces with true damage and with this little Elder Drake execution thingy. So he is really, really strong.
Yes, and that's the thing, because now, you've mentioned it, Hitmonli is having difficulty against the huge range that Stabil proves with this Smolder, with the Maokai. Ooh, maybe a fight here on the mid lane. Nature's Grass falling in, Mom coming in, TP on the mid lane turret, and I believe here that Ogmat is dead. Oh, it's Yorick Owens is dead. They keep on going on to Lubu here. Purchase is not found, but one member down for Hitmonli. Here you have the lilting lullaby. Very good reaction from the Nautilus player here as he gets away with the hook, but is really low. And slowly but surely, Stabil are setting pace towards Hitmonli's base here.
Yeah, Trigger will be in the end with a cute little flash into nothing. But I mean, just dominance. He just shows them who is boss with this flash, probably. And now Drake is spawning soon, so both teams probably wants to play around it. There comes the pings, but they still see, okay, we have 30 seconds or something, so they know all reset. Get maybe the last final item. There you could see the Mortal Shield Bow, no complete. I think other items did not complete at least, but a lot of control wards. So Stabil definitely is ready to maybe fight their last fight in this game and to just win the soul and win the game. That's at least the plan. But we see Hitmonli is ready to go and try to get mid lane prio to then face check all those brushes.
Yes, anticipation climbs. Trigger Happy's ultimate is not quite off cooldown yet. Now it is. Who's gonna engage here? Shoving in the mid lane wave. Stabil goes towards the Drake. We have a few sleeps. Here comes Nature's Grasp. Mom coming in. Lots of damage already falling. Drake is done. Stabil comes in with the Mountain Soul and they decide to engage here. Lots of damage onto Yorick Ovens. Maxax does get towards the jungler, but is quickly interrupted by a lot of CC. Gets away thanks to his E. Now we have to be careful. Slakers is on to Lubu. The AD carry of Hitmonli is getting really low, joined up by his support. Are they going to be able to survive as Trigger Happy comes in? Careful there, the Nautilus is down. And with that, STABIL takes one member down, gets the soul, and rotates towards Baron, it seems.
This deer is just too fast, man. She just gets every time one of them separated and then just kills them with the Q in the end.
Oh yeah, we have another small engage. On trigger happy, TP coming in from Exton Joe on his Karma. Blood Magic gets a stun out on Slakers. This is very important to take her out of her tracks, but lots of damage falling on the top lane of Hitmonli, who now is down. Now you have separate cooldown respawn timers for Hitmonli, which puts them really in a bad position right now to contest this Baron.
Yeah. Oh, there's Mom. He doesn't get a snipe on Lubu, but in the end they probably just get this Baron for free, have Soul, and those team fights, they look really hard for Hitmonli to win them. So in the end, that could definitely be the winning advantage now. Soul and Baron, one last team fight into finish with the Baron buff, something like that.
And that's the thing with STABIL's comp right now. You've mentioned a few times the huge range that's brought in by the Maokai and the Smolder. And then, okay, the engages are coming. You see them coming. Who's coming running along with them? You have this Lilia, and you have Maxax who's also there. So you can't even... They're so in your face, so annoying. They come just in time with the brunt of the engage. And they just seem so much chaos that in the end, in the back line, there's still a bunch of damage that's coming in from Rampage and Exton Joe. That just executes beautifully from STABIL here. Yeah.
And the funny thing about that game is that Smolder, after such an early game, now have 700 gold shut down on him. He finally got all the farm in, he finally got those 3 kills. And this little baby dragon, that was really strong. I mean, he has 340 stacks. I don't know exactly how good the scales for his abilities. You could see it on the passive. But I mean, that's really huge. And Maxax probably dead at this point.
Yeah, with the slow, he's not getting away from this. He tries to put up some sort of fights. He pulls out 2 ultimates still. Is still able to kind of play around with them, get some damage out. He's gonna end up dead. In the meantime, his team go towards bot lane, pick up tier 2 here, are starting to chip at tier 1. Have at inhib turret, but fall back very quickly as the others are backing.
Yeah, and this kind of split push doesn't really help them. I mean, they I don't want to say that they look clueless, but the split push, they just get caught on the side lane and don't really get something in return. They don't really try to force this inhib in the 4v3. So all they do is just trading 1 kill for a tier 2 turret in the late game, which still is an object that isn't really worth too much. So they really need to play those kind of split push situations much cleaner.
Yes, definitely. They have control. They are ahead. They have the soul. They have the band. They have a 5k gold lead. They don't seem to be able to really make sure what they want to do in order to crack the base open. Seems like they're a bit turning into circles. The team fights work really well. Yes. Maybe they should look for this, for an opportunity for a huge team fight, and then you can get a huge push in while you still have this Baron up.
Yeah, I think so. That's definitely the idea for STABIL, in my opinion. They just try to hard force. I mean, they have Maokai ult. If you don't get roots, if you don't root someone, then just go out, or just try to throw some bolas to the Sleeping Lullaby. And if you don't hit someone, then just go out, right? So we have too many tools to not just try it sometimes. And now they just go for the next tier 2 turret, for the last tier 2 turret actually, which was uncontested. But on this leading situation, I would kind of expect just a wee bit more. Oh no, he's out of position.
That's a catch on Sadokul, and this could set him up well. But they seem very passive here as they fall back. Now we have the mob coming in onto the slow Flymal G. Quite a bit of damage falling onto this Aurelia, who now goes towards the base of STABIL. This is huge for them as they pick up the first kill in this team fight. We now have Max in the backline, goes all in onto Senocle, tries to get the brand player, does not quite, but it's a double kill for Rampage GG as we picks up the enemy support. And the juggler dies as well. One member up for Hitmonli. It's Yorick Owens, and he dies quadra kill for Rampage.
Well played by this little Smolder. He got the moment. He is the real dragon now. And in the end, he even wins the game for them. Quadra kill. After such a not horrible but weak early game, they lost their lane. But in the end, lose lane, win game, right? And especially well played by that jungler and by the top laner. Incredible performance by Max Sachs. So well played by STABIL, who now won their first round, and we will see them, I think, later on again. So maybe even their second win in a row. Who knows? But with that, our upcoming game will be Snooze against Red Lion, but we will probably go into a short break before that.
Yes, we will be going into a short break before the next game, and yeah, that is going to be Red Lions versus Snooze, so we'll see you